All righty, here we are. Welcome to the Midweek Peak. Wednesday has arrived. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Jamie King, Fox 35 Storm Center. If you're just waking up and joining us here on the YouTube platforms and you're like, what in the world's going on with the weather? I can tell you we've got a major weather maker here in the making over the northern U.S. Big low pressure and that cold front draping steadily southbound will rapidly move across the connected states and bring huge weather impacts to virtually all of the nation as we draw closer to the Christmas holiday. Take a look here. You can see in its developmental phases now, and as we survey the scene with the snow today, it's generally been around the northern Rockies through the upper Midwest. And one thing I noticed from earlier this morning, the frequency and the intensity of some of these areas of heavy snow continuing to increase. So all the ingredients slamming together. You see around Rapid City to Sioux Falls, Minneapolis, Rochester, down to Cedar Rapids. We have got a snow machine here on the way in. That expands out into Wisconsin. Illinois has had some snow showers around Freeport, Rockford, and back out toward the western side here of Lake Michigan near Milwaukee and Waukegan, and then back east of that. It's been a little more tame, a little more chill, if you will. We haven't seen a huge uptick in snow, but my friends, it is on the way. Down south near Florida, where we're located here in Central Florida at Fox 35 Studios, we've had some coastal showers as low pressure gets torqued up there offshore and spins back some of these showers, but right now it doesn't look likely that we see any impacts there toward land. Now, looking at the watch and warning map, it gives me a headache as a meteorologist. You can see all the watches and warnings for winter storm alerts here. And as you go down south, this is right through here, some snow advisories. And for Houston and Dallas, all the way to Atlanta, GA, these are wind chill warnings and advisories. Also some wind chill watches in play. Likely all these get upgraded to full-scale warnings as confidence grows that this system will be coming in that direction. And it will. Check out our exclusive Fox model here in the Fox 35 Storm Center as the low begins to pivot on in. Here comes the snowfall, that ribbon of snow, heavy duty. There's a rain snow line there approaching Atlanta by 9 o'clock tomorrow evening into Thursday. And back behind this thing, huge cap of high pressure, and Frigid, I think, is an excellent description as to where we're headed with all this winter weather. Boy, it goes all the way down into the gut of Florida. Now, road conditions today, and for right now, as I bring this to you just after 1 o'clock East Coast time, you can see that we've got around Billings to Minneapolis on down to Denver. Been some issues with some snowfall. South of that, not so much, and we've had some wetter weather across the Carolinas and here in central Florida, but road conditions okay today in these areas, not so much back through here. So if you're going to be driving, maybe you're leaving early tomorrow, Thursday morning, you're doing all right. Now, the snowfall forecast between now and Sunday at 3 a.m. Look at these amounts. Real chunky here in excess of about a foot on the eastern side of some of these Great Lakes here, from Buffalo on over toward the eastern side of Lake Michigan. And as you get out just to the south of that, while the snow amounts continue to decrease as far as accumulations, could go as far south as northern Louisiana, Mississippi, the Blue Ridge Mountains of northern Georgia. Beautiful place and high enough in elevation to really accumulate some of that snow. Right now, temperatures are in, and we've gone sub-zero at the international border. And a look here at what's happening with current winds, because you look at the winds, you look at the temperatures, and you go, okay, we've got a wind chill alert, right? You bet we do. Look at these numbers. Impressive. And only continuing to drop as this veil of very cold Arctic air slides south, combines with those winds in our developing area of lower pressure, and that means a substantial decrease not only in air temp but also in that feels like or wind chill factor temp. Travel forecast for today. About 30 Chicago, 2 at Minneapolis. Winds increasing at Denver, a high there at 49. Boy, they're loving that today because by tomorrow those numbers really start dropping off. And that includes a lot of the southeastern states as we advance into tomorrow. See what I told you about Denver? 16 tomorrow for the travelers there. About 2 above Chicago or the goose egg at Minneapolis, and likely seeing some dropping temperatures there as that whole core of Arctic air slides that way. 34 at Houston tomorrow, very blustery. And a big concern there are the wind chills again. The advisories now, watches will likely advance to full-scale warnings. Atlanta sees 49 tomorrow, likely some showers. And also down here in the southern peninsula of Florida, we got a warm high at 80. Enjoy that too if you're down that way, because that gets erased. I mean, this cold air is going all the way down into the upper Keys, Broward, Miami-Dade counties in the far southern peninsula. Not very typical. It can happen, and it's about to happen yet again. So as we take a look at our weather impact days here locally, back here home in central Florida. We've issued these to account for freezing temperatures here in Central Florida for Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. We already now have some hard freeze watches for the Florida Panhandle, and some of that actually going down into our Fox 51 viewership. It's Dixie County there at Cross City. Fox 51, as we call it on the air, WOGX TV. We're always watching and tracking your skies as well. Want to tell you again, once we start to see more confidence in the forecast, and I think we're about moderate to almost high now in that confidence, we're going to start to see a lot of these convert over to full-scale warnings, and that will likely take shape too across the Central Peninsula through the Orlando metro. So let's take a look at what it means to us here in Central Florida in terms of the drop in temperatures. Well, that front skinnies on through the region as we go through the day on Friday. So by 9 o'clock or so Friday evening, we're down in the 40s. Ocala at 40, 49 or so at Orlando. Might come in a little colder by that time. 49 at Tampa. Still fairly warm, mild at Miami at 71. That will be changing, though, as we take you into the future for Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Christmas Eve morning. A look at these low temps again, dropping down into the freezing level, maybe slightly below that. Totally possible as the Arctic air begins to move on in from the north and northwest. Ocala sees 28, Jacksonville, and 49 down at Miami. And here's what we're talking about again. By 4 o'clock, still not a lot of progress. I mean, we're up and out of the 30s, right? But we're still in the 40s around Orlando, and very, very cold. Pensacola to Tallahassee to Jacksonville, a mix of mid-upper 30s to right around the low 40s at Duval County at Jacksonville. Sunday, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy holidays to everybody. And, of course, watching closely on this morning as well, as we likely see the winds ease on up, but still quite cold. 7 a.m. temps at Ocala at 29. We're on the low mid-30s. Orlando, 38 Bellwood, and 49 down at Miami. 47 as we rebound here on Christmas Day by 3 p.m. And looks like we're stuck there in those upper 40s. So, in particular, especially cold for us here in Central Florida. Again, the Fox 35 weather impact day as we take things a little tighter for you. Just show you the viewing area. These 20s and 30s. These are the wake-up temps on Saturday morning. And when we talk about the winds increasing the feels-like temperature by 7 a.m., we've got solid teens and widespread 20s, maybe some 30s a little there on the southern Space Coast at Melbourne. Lakeland seeing right around 25 degrees. So remember the P's, right? Not only 4 P's, but I'm going to call them 5 P's. People, pets, pipes, pools, and plants. We talk about people, maybe check in on the elderly, people susceptible maybe to these colder temperatures. Bring in Fido and Fluffy. If you got outdoor pets, make them comfy indoors. Maybe put your faucets, your pipes on drip on the outdoor bibs there for your hose there in the yard. And of course, monitoring for pools. Right now, typically it really isn't an issue here in Central Florida, but certainly you want to be cautious, right? And take precaution as we find perhaps running the pool pump, keep things flowing nicely through those pipes. And plants, cover them up or bring them inside. I know myself with my beautiful tropical palm collection, I got a lot of covering up in the yard to do. So I'm going to bring some of them in and certainly make sure they're nice and snug and warm in my Florida room. So we'll see how it goes again, but just some things to consider here for you. As we take a look at the pool, you can see the impacts want us to run the pump continuously, run the water features too, and really no need to turn up the heat. Save your money there on the bills. And lastly, we want to take a quick look here at the Christmas Day forecast right here in Central Florida on the big day on Sunday, right around 49. So you know it'll be chilly. And of course, we'll have a nice blend here of sun and clouds, mostly sunny at most times behind a departing Arctic front. So that's all for now from the Fox 35 Storm Center. I thank you kindly for joining us here on the YouTube platforms. We put a lot of emphasis and a lot of pride into our forecast here at the Fox 35 Storm Center. Keeping you and your family members safe is our top priority. So keep it here, locked on Fox. We'll keep you up to date, certainly as the Arctic blast descends upon us here in Central Florida and much of the nation, for that matter, as we head toward the Christmas holiday. That's all for now. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Jamie King. Have a great day. We'll talk real soon right here. You take care.